Would you look at that? You could only see me, and now you can't see me, but at least you can hear me. So maybe somebody knew how to read lips and knew exactly what I was saying there for a minute. What just happened? There we go. I got you, Ian. Good evening. Hmm. Interesting. A little sniffly. Don't you love that word? Just a little sniffly. Let me see. There was somebody that sent me a message earlier today, and I said that I would be answering their questions on the stream. Let's see if I can invite them. We will see. We will see. In the meantime, enjoy some music. Let's get back into business here. That one, and we'll do um, gotta look up some emails. Give me just a second. Hello, John. Hello. Feel free to join. Ah, yes. Do this here. Do that one, and we will do. Alrighty. I think that's it. Pretty much have invited the entire world, so how about that? And I will make this larger if anybody joins. Again, I'm a little sneezy, sniffly this evening, but here I am. All right. In the meantime, I'm sure you've been getting your reading material down. I hear you. I was up super late last night, so I don't know how late I'm gonna be up tonight, but I get it. And this is what I'm talking about. Welcome everybody. Welcome. We're just reading together, scrolling through. Gonna see if I can find a fun article to read. Renewal of the Simcha. Blah blah blah. Hmm. Here's we need to do this right here. We need to go. Ooh, that's not finding anything. Um. Oh, here we go. Mosque arson. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, we're already pretty familiar with this story. Yeah, let's click this. This looks interesting. So here we read that this is an informal statement. Do I read Ezekiel? Well, sure I do. I think I read Ezekiel 2 weeks ago on stream. I think it was like Ezekiel 17 or Ezekiel 19. It's really, really good, important stuff. Formal status of what? See, I don't really like it when terms are not defined. Did y'all get me on that? Um, hmm, hmm. Ezekiel 23. Yeah, we can read Ezekiel 23. Sounds good to me. I'm just doing that so that my address and stuff doesn't accidentally pop up. Good old Brave has a guest mode, which also shows up as a private window. It doesn't matter. Alrighty. We can do that. Excuse me. Uh, I'm not too worried about my address. It's more so the addresses of others that are may pre-populate that's what I'm concerned about. I don't much care about. I mean, I used to have trolls, but now I'm so unpopular that there are no trolls. There are some people that thumbs down my videos, like one person will thumbs down every one out of every 10 videos. I don't know who that is. But at this point, I had some momentum at one point. I was getting trolled pretty hard, and folks wanted to say some things, but that all fizzled away. Perfectly fine with that. All right, why is this not updating? I want this right here. There we go. Okay. There we go. And yes, I know there's like ads and stuff. Let's see if we can expand it though, right? Um, hmm. Oh, there we go. That's nice. Look at that. How nice. Look at that. Alrighty. Y'all can't read the chat, I see. I mean, you can read the chat, you just can't read the chat. That's all I'm saying. You can't read the chat on the video. People can be. I don't really care. I mean, let's just say it doesn't get me depressed. I'll put it that way. I do care. I want these people to be mentally healthy and to love the Lord, their God, with all their heart, mind, soul, and strength. But apart from those things, I'm not exactly interested in the trolling. But it is a good gauge, I think, to some degree. My view count has dropped tremendously. My average views per video, and I now have far more videos than I have subscribers, so that's kind of funny too. It's about redemption, you see. Well, the sniffle thing, not not very helpful tonight, I'll tell you that much. But I like to read the Bible, so let's do it. The word of the Lord came to me again, saying, Son of man, there were two women, the daughters of one mother. That means that they were sisters, just in case anybody might be confused. And they played the harlot in Egypt. They played the harlot in their youth. I'm hearing a "Am I a joke to you?" meme right about now, but we'll set that aside. There, their breasts were pressed, and their their virgin bosom was handled. Their names were Ohola. Maybe that's where we get the word hoe from, possibly. And the elder, and Oholibah, her sister. And they became mine, and they were 4 sons and daughters. And as for their names, Samaria is Ohola, and Jerusalem is Oholibah. 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 Anyway, Ahola played the harlot while she was mine, and she lusted after her lovers. You understand what this is. I mean, it's pretty clear. This is Ezekiel, okay? And just pay attention. It is literal, but it's a literal story about, uh, it's analogical. It's an analogy, not a metaphor, an analogy for two real things. Anyway, while she was mine, she lusted after her lovers, after the Assyrians, her neighbors, who were clothed in purple, governors and officials, all of them desirable young men, horsemen riding on horses. She bestowed her harlotries on them, all of whom were the choicest men of Assyria, and with all whom she lusted after, with all their idols, she defiled herself. She did not forsake her harlotries from the time in Egypt. Who was in Egypt? Was Ohola in Egypt? Did she go to Egypt? Was she stuck there? Come on, guys, pay attention. Keep up. Keep up. For in her youth men had lain with her. They handled her virgin bosom and poured out their lust on her. Therefore I gave her into the hand of her lovers, into the hand of the Assyrians after whom she lusted. They uncovered her nakedness. They took her sons and her daughters, but they slew her with the sword. Thus she became a byword among women. They executed judgments on her. Remember, Samaria. Samaria is the analogy here. And now we're talking, excuse me, and now we're going to be talking about Jerusalem. Who comes from Samaria and who comes from Jerusalem? Just keep up. Just keep up. It's all good. Now her sister, Oholibah, why is that so hard to say? I wonder. Saw this, yet she was corrupt, more corrupt in her lust than she, and her harlotries were more than the harlotries of her sister. That's interesting. She lusted after the Assyrians, governors and officials, the ones near magnificently dressed horsemen, riding on horses, all of them desirable young men. I saw that she had defiled herself. They both took the same way. So she increased her harlotries, and she saw men portrayed on the wall, images of the Chaldeans, portrayed with the vermilion, girded with belts on their loins, with flowing turbans on their heads. Hmm. So are you meaning to tell me that turban wearing was just a thing that the Ishmaelites did before Muhammad? Sounds likely. Let's continue. All of them looking like officers, like the Babylonians in Chaldea, the land of their birth. When she saw them, she lusted after them, and sent messengers to them in Chaldea. The Babylonians came to her to the bed of love, and defiled her with their harlotry. And when she had been defiled by them, she became disgusted with them. She uncovered her harlotries and uncovered her nakedness. Then I became disgusted with her, as I had become disgusted with her sister. Yet she multiplied her harlotries, remembering the days of her youth when she played with the harlot in the land of Egypt. She lusted after their paramours, whose flesh is like the flesh of donkeys, and whose issue is like the issue of horses. Thus you longed for the lewdness of your youth, when the Egyptians handled your bosom because of the breast of your youth. Therefore, O Holabah, thus says the Lord God, behold, I will arouse your lovers, give you against you, from who you were alienated, and I will bring them against you from every side, And the Babylonians. Let me move my mouse right. Yeah. Babylonians and all the Chaldeans. Pekod and Shoah and Koah and all the Assyrians with them. Desirable young men, governors and officials, all of them. Officers and men of renown, all of them riding on horses. They will come against you with weapons, chariots, and wagons, and with a company of peoples. They will set themselves against you. Went too far. On every side, with buckler and shield and helmet, and I will commit the judgment to them, and they will judge you according to their customs. I will set my jealousy against you, that they may deal with you in wrath. They will remove your nose. So not that trick that moms and dads play. Not that one, I guess. And your ears. That's really gruesome. And your survivors will fall by the sword. Why the nose, though? They will take your sons and your daughters, and your survivors will be consumed by the fire. They will also strip you of your clothes and take away your beautiful jewels. Thus I will make your lewdness and your harlotry brought from the land of Egypt to cease from you, so that you will not lift up your eyes to them or remember Egypt any more. For thus says the Lord God, behold, I will give you into the hand of those whom you hate, into the hand of those whom you were alienated. They will deal with you in hatred, take all your property, and leave you naked and bare, and the nakedness of your harlotries will be uncovered, both your lewdness and your harlotries. These things will be done to you because you have played the harlot with the nations, because you have defiled yourself with their idols. You have walked in the way of your sister, therefore I will give her cup into your hand, says the Lord God. You will drink your sister's cup, which is deep and wide. You will be laughed at and held in derision. It contains much. You will be filled with drunkenness and sorrow, the cup of horror and desolation, the cup of your sister, Samaria. You will drink it and drain it. Then you will gnaw its fragments and tear your breasts. For I have spoken, declares the Lord God. Therefore, thus says the Lord God, because you have forgotten me and cast me behind your back, bear now the punishment of your lewdness and your harlotries. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Hey, Frosty. Oh, sorry, New American Standard is what I'm reading from. And yeah, Ezekiel 23. You already knew that part. But yeah, NASB. Excuse me, with all the extra noise, I apologize. Moreover, the Lord said to me, Son of man, will you judge Oholah and Oholibah? Then declare to them their abominations, for they have committed adultery, and blood is on their hands. Thus they have committed adultery with their idols, and even caused their sons, whom they bore to me, to pass through the fire. Again, the fire, to them as food. Again, they have done this to me. Who's that? God. God. Remember, our offense is not against man, but against God. Just remember that. That's very important. They have defiled my sanctuary on the same day and have profaned my Sabbaths. For when they had slaughtered their children for their idols, they entered my sanctuary. What did they do for their idols? I'm sorry, what? Who? Sounds a lot like other countries. Modern day, huh? They entered my sanctuary on the same day to profane it. And lo, thus they did within my house. Furthermore, They have even sent for men who come from afar, to whom a messenger was sent, and lo, they came. For whom you, it's very small on the read that I'm on the screen that I'm reading from. Yeah, that's what I thought it said. Just double checking. For whom you bathed, painted your eyes, and declared yourselves with ornaments, and you sat on a splendid couch with a table arranged before it, on which you had set my incense and my oil. The sound of a carefree multitude was with her, and drunkards were brought from the wilderness with men of the common sort, and they put bracelets on the hands of the women, beautiful crowns on their heads. Then I said concerning her who was who was worn out by adulteries, will they now commit adultery with her when she is thus? But they went into her as they would go into a harlot. Thus they went into Aholah and Oholibah, the lewd women. But they, righteous men, will judge them with the judgment of adulteresses and with the judgment of women who shed blood, because they are adulteresses and blood is on their hands. For thus says the Lord God, bring up a company against them and give them over to terror and plunder. The company will stone them with stones and cut them down with their swords. They will slay their sons and their daughters and burn their houses with fire. Thus I will make lewdness cease from the land, and all women may be admonished and not commit lewdness as you have done. Your lewdness will be requited upon you, and you will bear the penalty of worshipping your idols. Thus you will know that I am the Lord your God. Well, it says Lord God, but y'all get it. Not necessarily abortion. They didn't say anything about unborn, right? Says, see, born. That right there is talking about born and children for their. I mean, these are talking about post birth. In fact, to my knowledge, Maccabees is one of the only actual references to true abortion. I believe Second Maccabees. It's pretty gruesome. Well, anyway, that was interesting. You said it was about a redemption. That might be in the next chapter or later on, but um, sounds like this is definitely mostly about judgment, which is what the prophet's purpose was for the most part, is to bring attention to the people of their violation of God's law. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good evening, Goose Whisperer. So I listened to a little bit of a good portion of Owen's dinosaur talk today. Stuff like that. Was all fine and dandy. His arguments for that are far more plausible than most of the other ones he's been making recently. It's more palatable that dinosaurs don't exist than certain other things that he's talked about. And by palatable, I mean provably or rationally provable. That's how I would put that. It's more rationally provable than many of the other things. But anyway, all that to say, I just kind of wanted to touch on a couple of subjects tonight and see if anybody else was feeling the Friday night thing. They are answering some of the questions on the Sanhedrin.org website. Here, let me bring it down just so you. There you go. The Sanhedrin.org. Check it out, or don't, whatever you want to do. My nose isn't running. It's a weird sensation that's kind of making me want to. It's like my nostrils are starting to close up, so I sniff in order to prevent that because I get relief. Yeah, it's whatever. It doesn't matter. Um, what does that even mean? See, they ask a question, clarify that question. But I mean, this is this is unfiltered. I mean, it's filtered because it's translated to English, but I mean, you could anybody that knows how to read Hebrew could verify that this is a clean translation. Is the pit? I'll read this one. This is pretty interesting. This is this page that I'm on. This is all about um, what is the meaning of the Noahide oath, okay? And then some questions and answers. Some of the questions that I would ask, right? So that we're getting our answer this way. Um, so this is interesting. Okay, what about those that hold that person? Because we don't know who that person would be referring to is Messiah, Mashiach. People who hold that he is not and was not any part of a divinity, but still holds that he was a Messiah, which I'm not sure what that means. Truly confused. It is the opinion of Rabbi Schwartz that a person who believes that that man was a Messiah is not transgressing any prohibition. However, the issue is as follows: someone who believes that that man, oh God, help them, so sad, was a Messiah seems to be only partly disassociating himself from full Christianity. And there is a problem of what is meant by the term Messiah. Is the Messiah a divine messenger to save the world? Now, when I say divine messenger, I mean someone otherwise normal human being sent by the divinity as a messenger. It seems that some people mean a person with divine attributes. An issue which could be seen as semantic becomes of major consequence. Let's just chew on that for a minute. I'll read the comments. Yeah, yeah. Owen said that I'm banned from Owen Benjamin Live. Um, I, I'm pretty sure I got banned way back when I was trying to advertise the Unbearables Bible study stuff. Um, I never got, I never saw it happen, so I don't really know. Sometimes he bans quietly. I don't know. Um, I imagine I was just going too hard on advertising my channel and other people's channels because I was advertising for Intoxicating and Breath of Fresh Bear and Preacher Bear. I think I even advertised for Nathaniel. Um, why you gotta be like that? Why you gotta say even? Why you gotta be like that, huh? Just saying. I give credit where credit is due. Oh yeah, and Pearson. See, that's why you should talk to me more often, because now I'm like totally forgetting Robert's last name. The fact that you got unbanned is pretty remarkable. We're still chewing on what I have highlighted, and I know it's covered up here. I wonder if I could. Yeah, we'll go bigger. It does word wrap, so we're fine. Word wrap is the best. We'll make it big. You're probably way happier that I just did that, right? Way easier to read. Sorry about that. I don't really like expanding because then I forget at what percentage I'm at. It's fine. It's all good. All right, let me catch up here. Do I not believe? Well, I believe in Behemoth and Leviathan. Um, I think that it's plausible that dinosaurs are made up. It seems slightly unrealistic, but crazier hoaxes have taken place. For instance, it seemed extremely unrealistic that crop circles were all a hoax. Now, some people would say, well, not all of them were a hoax, except for the fact that they allegedly uncovered that they were people came anyway. Maybe they paid them off to say that, I don't know. But that being said, they showed how it could be done, and the fact that they showed how it could be done within a reasonable time frame, 30 minutes to an hour, so on and so on, middle of the night kind of stuff, and you can plot out pretty easily, put a stake in the ground, tie a cord, grab a board, step on the board, and kick down the corn stalks. The different methods and stuff. Anyway, especially the fact that they're mostly spiraled. Um, anyway, we'll move on from that. But yeah, it's reasonable. It's not as irrational as some of the other claims, like an Antarctican wall or something like that. But anyway, there's this great channel discovered Israeli News Live. Yeah, there's also Breaking Israel News. Um, wait, it's I'm sorry, Israeli News Live. Yeah. From the Southeast Critical. Yeah. I actually know exactly who you're talking about. I've watched that. Um, yeah. Yeah, but I watched several documentaries, watched the technique. You can jam a stake in the ground, um, grab a piece of plywood, put handles on it, just screw some handles in it, and then you have it vertical, you push it down, push the corn down, you step on it, and then you walk and you go with the cord in a circle around the stake that keep makes it a perfect circle. But then you can also raise the stake up above, like, about 8 foot high, or 10 or whatever. And you can use that same principle with a partner to trace out a gap between the circle, and then the cord is up going over the other corn, and you can start a new spiral. Um, I mean, technically, it would require a lot of different autistic style people to be executing in a similar fashion, but maybe there was like instructions being passed around. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of fascinating. All right, so I just wanted to ponder these words for a little bit. I should be drinking Atomic Pumpkin. That should have been my choice tonight, but I only have one left, and I have a problem with when I have one left of anything, whether it's a piece of candy or I hold on to that last one. That's why certain biblical parables are so meaningful to me, because you have to give everything up. You can't hold on to anything, and that includes candy, I guess. Anyway, the decision of Rabbi Schwartz is therefore that in the Beis Din, that's the they were talking about the Beis Din earlier up here, where it was saying Beis Din, Beit Din, before a Beit Din or Beis Din of um, it's like a it's the I think it's the any group that is part of the Sanhedrin or the ruling Jews, or whatever it is. Beis Din is a group of rabbis or something. You're getting that totally wrong, man. All right, fine. Fine. All right, fine. Fine. What is Bayit Din, Beth Din? Okay, so Beth, if it's Bayis Bet, then it's house. I know that word, Beth. Bet Din, Bayit Din, Bayis Din, house of judgment, aka courthouse, rabbinical court of Judaism. Okay, so Din is the word related to judgment. It must be abbreviated somehow, because it should have Dalet Yod Nun. So I was like, why is that 3 letters? So it's Dalet Yod Nun, or DYN, or whatever you want to say. I don't. It doesn't matter. Um, boom, boom. It's all good. Let's move on. I'm gonna just say House of Judgment, House of Judgment every time I see Beis Din. Okay, you guys will follow. There, decision Rabbi Schwartz is therefore that in the House of Judgment over which he presides, okay, he presides over it, he will not accept declarations of people with Christian background if they think that that man was a Messiah. This does not mean that the declaration of such a person before any other house of judgment is valueless. Perhaps another house of judgment will be satisfied that the person before them is a bona fide. I'm sorry, that the person before them is bona fide in acceptance of the totally non-divinity of that man. They may accept the declaration, and it will be fully valid. So what they're saying is there will be multiple houses of judgment, and it'll be up to the one who presides, I'm using their language, the one who presides over that specific house of judgment. It'll be up to that person as to whether or not, but all that being said, this is a couple of assumptions in the working here, assuming that someone that even believed that Jesus Christ, that man, whom they keep calling that man, um, this assumes that anybody that believes that Jesus is God would even submit to stating their adherence and acceptance of the Noahide laws. And here's an interesting point. Here's an interesting point. I watched the full debate. It's like 2.5 hours. It's pretty long. Maybe only 2 hours. So I watched the entire debate of um I wonder if I saved the give me just a moment. I wonder if I saved the link. Might have, yes, I did. So I'm going to share a link with you. I tried to download this. It's impossible. If anybody knows how to hack Vimeo on a video that has been not delisted, but it's private, or not private per se, but Vimeo has some type of protection, and I can't find a way to download it. The only way I know how to do that is by screen recording it. Um, and that I don't know how to do a timed screen record, because if I did, I would just record it and go to bed, you know, because I don't want to listen to this again. But it was, nobody cares. That guy's a Buddhist. Sorry. An uplifting story with music by Jack Johnson and Ben Harper. I don't know who Ben Harper is, but he's probably a Buddhist too. Um, so anyway, oh, it's just an image? What the, what in tarnation? Oh man. All right, well, it's whatever. I mean, I can just, what was it? Here it is. Events.chosenpeople.com. No, it's a really good debate. Um, Now, it was a little disappointing about, um, you know, Dr. Michael Brown didn't didn't put his foot down, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, it was just a month and a half ago. Do recommend watching it. It's long. Yeah, it's 2 hours. I I recommend it. Somebody told me to watch it, and I was like, okay. I watched it. It's really good stuff because it's insightful. It's educational. It really helps you understand where folks' frame of mind is, and that leads me into my next point. Why this is like the most people that have been on my channel in a long time. So welcome, guys. Glad you're here, guys and gals, if there's any gals here. Um, so check this out. Here's what's going on, and I want you to really pay it. I mean, I know you're paying attention. You're here. If nobody is here that isn't trying to pay attention. So, but I think that this specifically is important to understand. Here's my theory. I'm going to share my theory about what I really believe the 70 nations and the Noahide laws are really about. And you're not going to like it. And I could be wrong. I hope I'm not. Hope I'm not. But this is my theory. And this is based on evidence of observation. Um, Specifically from this debate. Again, you may not have seen, this is a debate questioning whether or not the New Testament is anti Semitic. Some of you may be scratching your head at that, but I recommend you watch it. And the reason being is it'll help you understand why certain people will say, since they think it's really funny to just say Jesus is, oh my gosh, that's so weird. It doesn't, oh yeah, it does for everything. That's so weird. Um, since they think it's really funny to say that Jesus is, let me scroll up for you, that person, then we'll just say those people. You know, just keep things even. Um, those people are so upset because Christians claim to have the only way to salvation. Who made that up, by the way? Where did that idea come from that you could only be a Christian or you could only go to heaven if you're a Christian? Um, what Christian? Christ, Christ, Christian. What does it mean? Follower of Christ. Okay, so that's what a Christian is. Who said that though? Who said the only way you're gonna go to heaven is through Christ? I mean, somebody reputable would have had to have said that. Somebody with authority and credibility, and somebody that was worth dying for and in the name of. Um, who would that person have been? You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. I know you will. I trust that you will figure it out. By the grace of God, you'll figure it out. Okay. So if that claim is true, then obviously there's a serious problem for everybody else, Jews included, because that person said Jews too. No, it was not a conspiracy of Paul, as those people wholeheartedly believe. Also, um, another playlist that you might find beneficial that I have been building on my YouTube channel. Let me go to playlists. Let me copy this. Yeah, I don't have any other weird stuff on here. It's kind of weird, but it's whatever. All right, so you can go to my channel. No, weird. That one is a private playlist. I wonder if it even still exists. Yeah, it's still live. That's hilarious. Oh no. Well, yeah, it's still live. How do you how do you pull up the live chat? So you guys might not know about this one, but that's so weird. I was a moderator on it, but I don't even know if it's active anymore. Anyway, I'm way too distracted, obviously. Let's get back to business. To defeat the Hans. Don't sing that song. That song is horrible. All right, so ignore mortgage study. I should probably delete this one. I mean, playlists are helpful, but this is the one. No, obviously I've been going ham. Don't say ham. First of all, it's not kosher. Second of all, it's an acronym that is antithetical to your stance against cursing. So don't say that. It's crass and inappropriate. Stop it. Okay, fine, whatever. I mean, I'm going to talk to myself if nobody's willing to get on. I'm going to have this conversation. So just so you guys know, I'm fully prepared to talk to myself and to you. Um, just saying. All right, religious study for Christians. Um, it's a good playlist. I've watched all of these videos. It's a lot. It's a lot. Um, I've also watched all of those Firm Unity videos. But there's a specific video. This was pretty good. Let me see if this is. Yeah. Good. So these are the most recent videos. Um, yes, I added a hip hop song to uh to the. And it's good. It's good. Um, this was an excellent video. But this was the one that was very educational. It's by a rabbi, Jews for Judaism, which, by the way, if you didn't notice that title, Jews for Judaism, that's a huge. It's a website, it's a group, like a club, and what does that remind you of? Jews for Judaism? Does it remind you of anything? Like maybe Jews for Jesus? Um, I'm getting to the point, and I will get to the point. Okay, here's the point. In the debate between Dr. Brown and Rabbi Botich, this guy right here, which ironically looks a lot like something I've seen before. Anyway, I I just all right. So during the debate, he practically begs, but more so demands that Michael Brown, Dr. Michael Brown, claim or denounce. I don't even know how to word it. He wants Dr. Michael Brown to denounce Christianity as the only way to go to heaven. He wants Dr. Michael Brown in this debate. He he demands, says he says, and this is the Cliff Notes version of the debate, but very important, very important. He says there will always be anti-Semitism, and the New Testament will always be seen as anti-Semitic until you, and that's Dr. Michael Brown, just this one guy, right? But others, right? Until you say that my righteousness is good enough to get me to heaven, that I don't need to do anything different or change. And like a good politician, Dr. Michael Brown explains that he doesn't believe that his own righteousness or uh, Botiak or anybody is righteous enough to go to heaven. So he gives a good politician's answer that still communicates the truth. It's just it lacks oomph. It lacks chutzpah. It lacks confrontation, which is fine because the main point of the debate was to argue that the New Testament was not anti Semitic, which Dr. Michael Brown very clearly and does an excellent job maintaining his stance that it is not. And he does a great job at that. He really does. So for as much criticism as anybody may give him for not being strong enough on who salvation comes to, um, he does a lot of good in the debate. So just keep that in mind. But keep this in mind. What was the demand? The demand was that Dr. Brown say that he was good enough. It's almost like those people, I'm just playing the same game, guys. If a certain anybody, if those people watch this video, if you are one of those people, just understand I mean no ill. I'm doing it out of irony and because I think it's funny. I'm not actually personally offended that you would say that person about Jesus because I understand what you believe. I actually understand it. I do. And the fact that I understand it, I think that it would be beneficial for more people to understand why, well, not why you believe what you believe, but what it is that you actually believe. Because when we have a better understanding, not those people, but when we have a better understanding about what those people believe, I think it will vastly reduce um, uh, for even for those people that are triggered and have sin in their heart and are prone to have hatred towards others, say rude, despicable things towards other people, as opposed to what I would call you to do, and others have called you to do, and that is mourn, mourn, be brokenhearted over the fact that somebody doesn't love Jesus. Don't don't call them names because they don't know who Jesus is. Just because they know Jesus' name, it doesn't mean they understand who he is and what the gospel is or any of that. They've been fed a narrative, just as many narratives as we've been fed, just in a different direction. So have have a broken heart for those that don't understand who Jesus is and say things like that person. Don't don't get angry. Don't get even. I guess I got even by saying those people. Hypocrisy, right? But people don't care about hypocrisy these days, do they? They only care about winning. Hmm. I'm just trying to skate on that fine line that doesn't really exist. But I will call myself out for being a hypocrite because that's no good. Maybe it's not really hypocrisy. Maybe it's just educational. Just proving a point. Saying those people is actually extremely benign. Comparatively, if you're talking about the creator of the universe and you're putting him in, if you're putting him in quotes or triple parentheses, for instance, um, the creator of the universe, guys, I think there's a vast difference in harm and consequences, more specifically, to making a joke about calling a group of people those people versus calling the creator of the universe that person. But correct me if you disagree. Hop on here. This is great. This is good. It's educational. So let me get back to the point because I definitely want to be clear about my point here. So here's what's actually happening. This is my theory about the 70 nations, the Sanhedrin, the Noahide laws, and I want you to listen to me because this is, I believe, very important. Share this video, so on and so on. I believe that those people are looking at Christians as the gatekeepers to heaven. I was going to say key holders, but I mean that's kind of accurate, but not their perception. The perception of those people is that Christians are the gatekeepers, hypothetically, or the self-promoted gatekeepers. Th- Those people think that Christians are deceived and don't understand history, don't really know what was going on, are deceived with their own psyops, like that Christians have been deceived through multiple propaganda and all these sorts of things. Okay, and they have their own narratives. I grew up. I read and learned a lot about the Crusades and kept on learning and kept on reading, and up until a month ago, I had never ever ever heard one thing about those people considering the Crusades was Christians against those people, and then also the Muslims. But as a side point, which in everything I ever learned, it was between the Muslims and the Christians. But those people think that it was definitely the whole purpose of it. Just like people say that the Civil War was all about slavery, right? Those people say that the Crusades were all about those people and doing horrifying, terrible things to those people because of lies that were spread about those people. So, with that being said, there's a lot of hurt feelings, a lot of narratives, a lot of reason to feel and think that the way that they do, and therefore, they're trying to play the same game. They're trying to fight back. They think that they are the gatekeepers to who goes to heaven because they're, according to part of the Old Testament, and which they also think is a pejorative, by the way, to call it the Old Testament. And all of these things, by the way, all of these offenses, fabricated offenses that those people have, all stem around a refusal to believe a certain set of facts. How can you say they're facts? They're facts. There's faith. There's facts. And I'm not even talking about faith. I'm talking about facts. So certain refusal to believe facts leads them to do these things. It's it's what paints their worldview. A refusal to believe certain facts paints the rest of their worldview, and those people are incapable of understanding it from, let's say, a Christian's point of view. And they think that not they, sorry, those people think that everybody else doesn't get it because they have the um, the upper hand with tradition, culture, language, and and of course the Talmud and all the vast amount of information and written works and stuff related to that. So here's the point: they're just trying to play the same game from those people's perspective. Um, from those people's perspective, they just think that they're trying to take back what they believe to be theirs, aka salvation, and they believe that it belongs to them, And for anybody else to claim that salvation comes only to those who believe Jesus Christ, uh, they're just it's like they're being stolen from their perspective. You, when you start to understand that, it's like, oh, okay, interesting. It it actually is very, very, very helpful to start to understand. You go, okay, you believe this. That paints all this other stuff. Those people believe everything that they believe because they refuse to accept a certain small number of facts. This isn't uh, what's a vast field of study? I mean, understanding, trying to understand how many species were on the planet um, 5,000 years ago versus today, and the variations between 5,000 years ago and today. Um, that's vast. That's a vast amount of knowledge and understanding that you would need to have. Um, I get these requests on Fiverr on a regular basis. Fiverr has been the most pointless service, rid constantly with scammers. And I've been watching Atomic Shrimp and stuff recently, and a couple of other interesting fellows that are kind of getting back at the. They're getting. They're just. Oh, it's whatever. It's entertainment. Do you guys understand what I'm talking about? You get where I'm coming from? Those people want the right. They believe that there's a right to go to heaven. They want the right to go to heaven. Well, who has the right? Is the question. Who has the right to go to heaven? Hmm? Shmuley Botiak is the guy's name that he did a debate with. I saved one of those IRS, the IRS scammers. I saved one of their numbers. I was considering doing that as a live call. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. Um, what do you guys think of that? They say that there's risks involved. They say that there's risks involved with that. I could call via WhatsApp, but I think it doesn't matter because it's still connected to your phone number. So I don't care about backing up my chat history. Fine, monthly. No, no, I'm not going to do that. What do you guys think? There was 5 people here. Now there's supposedly 3 people here. I could read more articles from the Sanhedrin and kind of break those down, but I said what I believe to be um, one of the most important things I could say on this topic. And I think that it's helpful. I think it's really helpful. So what do you guys think? Hmm? Should I mean, I could try and call via Google Hangouts. I could do that. I don't know if that would work. We'd have to switch over to a voice call. We could try. Um, let's see. Is this it? October 9th? Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, and I accidentally called it back, which supposedly gets you on a list. Yeah, they may be. They may be. Owen watches one video from one guy. Apparently, I don't remember what the guy's name was. Rooster. I don't know. Some name with two R's. I know it wasn't Rooster, guys. Just chill. It's like Oric or, oh, I don't know. Oliver. I don't know. Some name with two R's in it. And he listens to that video and now he doesn't believe that dinosaurs existed. You know, and it's plausible, but maybe. I don't, yeah, I don't know. All right, so what do you guys think? You want me to do this? Let me do this. I don't know if I can. Um, I don't know if I can do a Google Hangouts phone number. Maybe. Oh yeah, it's gonna. Let's see. I don't know if that's gonna work at all, and I'm not even hearing anything. No, it's not gonna work because it's calling. I could put it on speakerphone and just call. You know what time it is in India right now, though, right, guys? That is definitely not working. Rory, Jerry, Perry, you're just playing the game that I was playing. I understand. I get it. Orville. Orville? Is that it? Orville with two R's? I could try. Orville. Dinosaurs? I don't know. Yeah, that's definitely not it. Not a big deal. All right, so apparently Goose Whisper is the only one that wants to talk right now. It's fine. Excuse me. All right, let me do this here, and we will go. The number is. Feel free. I mean, it's probably disconnected by now because you know how they do. They just do a VoIP thing and all that good stuff. Um, The number was 856-178-6005. Give it a try. Give it a try. I wonder if I can call from WhatsApp. I don't know if this will work, but to place WhatsApp voice or video call, tap plus, select a contact. Select a contact, huh? So I need to like add the number to my phone book first. Oy vey. I don't know, guys. Down to 2 viewers. I need to plug my headset in too. Let's give it a try. Let's see what happens. What I don't know is you're gonna only hear me. Oh, I'll just not use the headset. I'll have to listen only. It's cool. We got this. There's a button on my headset. See? I don't know if it's the NFC button or what. Um, let's see here. I'm gonna give it a try. Nobody's watching. Never know. You never know what might happen. 178-6005. Can you guys can still hear me, right? We're gonna turn the camera mic on. There's gonna be an echo. Well, in that case, forget that. We'll just turn the headset mic off for a minute. Get rid of the echo. It's gonna have a little different audio quality. Let's see what happens. We'll try it this way. Try it out. Verizon Wireless, your call cannot be completed as dialed. There you go. Please check the number and dial again. So, for location 188512. That was it. Why it says it's Verizon because that's my service. Well, they've disconnected. How disappointing. I bet there's a list. I bet there's a website that'll give you a list of IRS scammer calls. All right, well, am I here? Okay. Yeah. So this has noise canceling technology, which is why you can't hear the fan or both of the fans when I have this on. Maybe you can, but only a very little amount. According to the noise, it doesn't look like you can hear anything, which is pretty cool. All right, well, with no interaction in the chat, everybody's gone, nobody joined the call. I think I'm just going to say goodbye. I said some of the most important stuff I needed to say tonight regarding the 70 nations and no-hide laws. I had some good questions from somebody that was checking out one of the videos I did, and I'm pretty sure I addressed pretty much all of that. It's good stuff. So y'all have a good one, and love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. Most important thing you can do.